Welcome to the Wake and Bake podcast. It's me, Quentin. I'm a Charger fan based in San Diego. This is Pete. He's a Patriots fan based in San Diego. We talk football in the morning while we prep cook at our bakery.
That's right.
So, if you like to listen, listen. If you don't, then don't. Matter of fact, if you like to listen, please subscribe. Gotta ask you to do that because it's helpful. It's nice to know somebody's out there. It's very motivating for us to create episodes.
Otherwise, we're going to do it anyway.
Otherwise, we're just going to do it anyway and not film it. We got OTAs going on here. It's been a little quiet since the draft. We're starting to get some words. OTAs are largely closed up to the public. They only kind of do a few sparse sessions open to the reporters and whatnot. So,
And even those are only like partial practices.
yeah, they're not, and they're like little itty bitty little partial practices. These NFL teams, they're all secretive and shit. You want to go first on Patriots, Pete? I got a lot of Chargers dope to talk about, so I don't know.
Drake May is adapting to his new offense. And as such, he looks better and better every day.
It's better and better every day. I did not realize that Brian Daboll, when he was coordinator of the Bills, before he moved up to coordinator with the Bills, he was under McDaniels with the Patriots.
Yep.
Daboll was a former Patriots coach, right? Am I right about this? Did you know this?
I think so.
He was like an assistant.
I think he was, like quarterbacks coach.
Underneath McDaniels. And so when he took over coordinator,
It's hard to keep track of how many Patriots pipeline coaches just go away and become coordinators
yeah.
somewhere else.
I mean, if you're a Patriots assistant, you seem to be able to coach and thrive other places. Just not if you're a Patriots coordinator. Moving up to head coach. That doesn't work. But if you're an assistant, it's great.
Yeah. You got to get them while they're a defensive line coach or something.
Yeah. Coordinators don't seem to work so well for some reason. So, and because Diggs was there, and because Daboll was the offensive coordinator, he actually has a good amount of, there's a lot of familiarity in the type of routes and options, the way they like to run it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because that's where Diggs thrived.
Right. Well, I mean, he was good in Minnesota, but
That's where he became Diggs.
He was a known commodity in Minnesota, but he was, head and shoulders better.
He thrived with the Bills. It's where people thought, it's where arguably he became one of the top wideouts for a hot moment. He was kind of regarded as one of the top wideouts for a hot minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. I read that. which gives him a leg up on like actually all the other receivers. I think they were kind of talking about that. Like Bourne and all these other guys have to learn it, learn how they want those routes like executed and developed.
I mean, Bourne knows it because he played with under McDaniels his first year in New England.
Oh, okay.
Like, it seems so long ago. The 2020 season.
So many moons. So many moons ago. It's true.
Tom Brady had just retired, just gone to Tampa. Just that McDaniels was still there as OC, and then, left, went to Vegas, pretty much retired, came back to New England. So, I mean, that gives Bourne the leg up on that he is somewhat familiar with the playbook and all of the option routes that the receivers run. And he had his best year that first year with McDaniels.
Yep.
It's just
true.
Really, it's unfortunate that his best year, he's like regarded as a solid like number 2 or 3 receiver, and he is. His best year was 800 yards. And now everybody's like thinking he's a lock to make the team this year for all that. And it's like, really? He's okay.
Wait, who? Bourne or?
Bourne. But really, if they want to go younger, somebody has a bigger upside, take it to camp. See who's the best.
Bourne's almost like a Palmer. He's like the Chargers Palmer.
Yeah. So
right there.
6 years ago,
complete.
He had a lot of upside. He was still on the upward trajectory of his
makes these plays
of where he could be. But at this point, like, he's 30 or 31, and like,
oh wow, I didn't know he's in his 30s though.
He is who he is.
So you got 2 30-year-old receivers, Diggs and Bourne.
Yeah.
Coming off of injuries.
I mean, Bourne's now a year removed from it because his was last year, whereas Diggs was just this year.
I mean, it's not an indictment. I'm just saying, like, on paper, it's not,
Right. So, like, if he develops chemistry with Drake, great. Be on the team. It'd be fine. But, like, I'm not trying to move out somebody younger who has a higher ceiling at this point because we already know what Bourne's ceiling is.
You still need... It would be huge if Polk can take a huge step forward this season.
Yeah.
If Polk can pull a Quentin Johnson, like...
It's huge.
Thank the football gods. Otherwise, you'll be drafting another wideout next year, hopefully.
Right.
And I mean, that's actually maybe the one place in the Patriots draft that you're kind of like, damn. I mean, hopefully it's Williams. But you took him in the 3rd round, right?
Kyle Williams, the receiver. Yeah.
Like, you've got astronomical hopes for Kyle Williams. Like, I mean, it happens. I think Keenan Allen.
I mean,
Who was the 3rd round
he's going to
pick?
be this year's Puka until he's not.
Was Keenan a 3rd? Yeah, you're looking like a Puka. Yeah, it's like, can we pull a Puka here?
Everybody always wants the Puka,
Can we pull a Puka Nakua here? Who doesn't want that? Should I tangent off onto Ladd? Use that as a springboard for Ladd?
Sure.
We're going to go to Ladd, and then we'll come right back to the Patriots, okay?
All right.
But I think that's a great, because we're talking about the draft, Polk. all that. There's some news on Ladd a little bit. It's not a lot. Obviously, Ladd is Ladd. Guy had an unbelievable season as a rookie. Charger fans, you know it. You know it. I mean, this kid took over from game one and started dominating to finish the season. In the playoff game, I mean, they're triple covering him. And he's the only weapon. And he had the biggest game out of all the Charger receivers. He still almost he had 9 receptions and almost 200 yards. The rest of the Chargers' entire receiving core had something like 30 yards and 2 receptions.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that they didn't make attempts to throw the ball to other people, okay? That's what killed the Chargers in this playoff game. It's just Ladd was just getting it fucking done as a rookie, being double and triple covered by one of the best secondaries in the fucking league, by the way. Not just any secondary. He's going up against the top cornerbacks and safety dudes in the freaking league. They're double, triple covering this guy, and he's still getting the damn ball and doing things with it. As a rookie, so. But enough glowing about last year. This year, his Wideouts coach, Sanjay Lal, he's just like, okay, Ladd blew the doors off any kinds of expectations from a rookie last season. He's like, his off-season work that he did, he's exceeded expectations in every shape, form, and fashion possible. He's added some meat to his frame. He's focused his off-season on getting his body right and more durable and stronger. You know, you got to realize last season they come out of the draft. Well, as a rookie though, it's like you come right out of the draft and then like the priority is to just learn the fucking playbook.
Right.
Like not get your body right. So for him to have like an off season and then here's kind of another element this plays in, because Sanjay the receivers coach was asked about the rookies because the Chargers took two wideouts in the draft. Good ones, very, very good ones. And his reflection on those guys was like, they're good, they look like what we drafted. He's like, but they're out of shape. Their fitness is not where the other guys is at. And he's like, they just got drafted. They've been doing the banquet circuit for 3 months. Like, yeah, you know, it's not their fault. They're trying to get drafted. They're doing that whole thing. It's hard to walk in here in spectacular shape. You're not going to walk into the rest of the wideouts have been here in the Ben Herbert's training program since the season ended.
Right.
Like these guys are looking really good. They are fit. They're football fit. And it's apparent.
Ben Herbert loves himself an NFL offseason program.
What's that?
I said Ben Herbert loves himself an offseason NFL program.
Program. And I mean, I don't know if I've spent podcasts kind of talking about this. But I'll get back to that later. Let's get back to the Patriots, but we'll hold that the Ben Herbert off season here, which I think is very, very, very different than a standard off season. Lad is up in OTAs, leading practices, looking. I mean, they think he made. The summary was Sanjay was like, Lad made a huge jump this offseason, not a small one. And it's kind of crazy to say that because the kid did what he did last year. Like, he's looking like he was just like, I don't know this kid's ceiling because he's doing everything he was doing last year, just
souped up,
astronomically better somehow. Like everything that he was doing so well already. I mean, he was, even last season in training camp, he was having Lad demonstrate when they're going to do an exercise or a training. He was using Lad as this guy, like, okay, this is what you need to learn how to do. He's having Lad do that as a rookie just because he does it the fucking best. You know?
Yeah.
Like, this is what we're all working on, guys. Lad, show him what's up. Like, now, I mean, it's all Lad.
Yeah.
When Williams, I mean, we got Mike Williams back, in his presser, they were like, so what's it going to be like to work with Lad and show him some things? I mean, Williams said it like, well, it kind of seems like Lad needs to show me some things. Like, I'm here to learn, man. Like, Lad, that kid knows what he's doing. Like, you know? So Lad's being Lad. And Lad ain't in it. Lad ain't fucking around. This kid is not fucking around. This year, he's learning the focus too. Sanjay cut up 2 wideouts. You'll like this. They felt an area of Lad's game that could be improved was how he falls down, how he takes hits, because he's not a huge dude. And it's like, you're the #1 target. These guys are going to try and take your head off if you let them do it. There's a way to not let them do that.
Yeah.
You can't, because you're not going to last the season taking hits. And that wasn't really part of his game last season. Last season, his game was just catching the damn ball and making a play. But Sanjay was like, so he generated some film cut-ups on 2 wideouts for Lad to watch how these guys, once they get the ball, what they do in preparation to get tackled.
Right.
And to save their body. Because they do things after the catch that help them be available and stay healthy. And so one of the guys was Edelman. He pulled cut-ups of Edelman, and Edelman would fall forward. He's like, so I guess Edelman, he would always kind of do this like fall forward, almost even just like a jump forward. Like as soon as he'd get the ball, he'd just turn and kind of, if he sees that tackle's coming, he would like lean forward so he gets an extra 2 to 3 yards.
Yeah. At the same time protecting his head.
And he's protecting himself, yeah. So that was the takeaway from Edelman, is falling forward, protecting, and then soaking up these extra 2 to 3 yards on every single play. And then the other guy was Lockett, who played for Sanjay in Seattle. So that's that's what they were working on specifically to add to his game. How to get tackled, because he took some brutal hits last year, but some of it was somewhat self-inflicted. The way he would fall down, you kind of go, ooh, like, dude, you know? Not a good position to be in. Plus, you're getting tackled. Like, you're in a bad position already, and you got tackled in that position, which is going to hurt even more. It's going to compound it.
I mean, Lockett and Edelman are two smaller receivers who played for a long time.
Exactly.
Had a long career.
And, I mean, they were heavily targeted, too.
Yeah. Super high production.
Especially Edelman.
Super high volume. Yeah, I mean, Lockett led his team in catches.
Like, I don't know about Lockett, but, I mean, Edelman was, you know, he was that Welker possession receiver, dude. Like 8 to 10 catches every game.
Yeah.
In the middle of the field, the most dangerous part of the field. And they're small.
Yeah. I mean, I just know, obviously, I know more about Welker because I watched every one of his games, and I did not for Lockett. But I'm pretty sure Lockett also, you know, he led the Seahawks in receptions almost every year, and same thing. He was a slot guy running over the middle too, doing everything.
So the Patriots wideout situation. Got Diggs and Bourne settling in. But yeah, it'd be huge if Polk or Williams need to ascend. One of those guys got to ascend.
Right.
And assert themselves. How big is Williams?
He's small. He's like 5'10", 5'11", 195.
So he's a shifty, fast type receiver, huh?
He has like some of the fastest first 3 steps in the
when you're small like that, the only way you get into the NFL is like being shifty and fast.
His acceleration to top speed is one of his strongest characteristics.
Yeah.
So like the way he wins is he wins off the line in 3 steps and then he just goes.
Yeah. What's attendance been like at Patriots OTAs?
Pretty high.
You got anybody? Is pretty much everybody there?
Yeah. I mean, you know, some of the veterans missed a few days here and there, but not even the entirety of the camp. You know, like obviously there was the video of Diggs and he wasn't there every day, but he was there some of the days. Bourne wasn't there the other day, but he was there most of the days. Ramondre Stevenson wasn't there at the beginning because his father passed like last month. So he was home for that, and then so he was kind of getting back in shape, coming back to town.
I heard some hype on Ramondre in OTAs.
Yeah.
You read that?
Just that he's ready to get it back to being awesome.
Well, supposedly the play of the day for
Oh, it was him on a wheel route?
When the press was there for the open session of OTAs, the play of the day was a sideline catch.
It was him on a wheel.
Holland went in on the sideline. That's not what you would expect from Ramondre. They're using him. That's using him in a very unconventional way because he's kind of the ground and pound dude usually, right?
He is. And I mean, they would run him on wheels every once in a while, and it'd be like, he's open, hit him. They
would never go and hit him.
It would never work.
Would they throw it and him not catch it, or they just wouldn't throw it?
A little bit of both. I don't know the exact numbers, but just the eye test, I feel, I would see it and I'd be like,
You're feeling like, it's like, why are we doing this?
well, no, because I love that play.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's like Billy Bob in Varsity Blues. Like he's wide open, nobody's covering him. Because of course he's faster than the linebacker in man coverage.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a trick. Like nobody expects it to happen. So yeah, he's always going to be wide open. It's a ball. Just catch it.
What about the other running backs? So yeah, let's talk about the Patriots running backs. So we got Ramondre. Ramondre's looking really good. Ramondre's looking like a guy whose job is in jeopardy and he knows it. He knows he's got a really good rookie right behind him.
Right. So
a highly drafted rookie who was a great value. Where the Patriots got him, he was a fantastic value.
And a lot of people were questioning the pick, saying, is this rebuilding team ready to take a running back in the second round? Like, or are there bigger needs kind of thing,
I mean, they took him because he was a value, too. It was like, well, I don't know if we're in the best position, but this guy's pass pro is freaking awesome.
But his pass pro is awesome. We're taking him at 38. We feel he's a top 30 player.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's a top shelf back. The running backs this year were nuts. It was one of the most talented running back classes in a long time.
Obviously, last year, it was going to be a run-heavy team with a rookie quarterback. It was a run-heavy team for the 2 years before that, without a quarterback.
I mean, it's Vrabel's team, too.
Well, this year is Vrabel's team, but I'm talking about last year with Ramondre Stevenson. He took a lot of flack. He had a lot of fumbles.
Yeah, ball security was a big deal.
You just got paid. You signed a new contract.
And then he's fumbling the ball.
The number one job is to not fumble the ball.
He said he's been working on that.
He's been working on that. I think Vrabel's got his back and working on that. But I think that, drafting a stud rookie and putting it behind him is that's adding competition. And
never hurts.
Competition is always good.
It's always good.
To make somebody a little more focused. Than
number one thing you want to elevate, if you want to elevate players' performance at any given position, you give them some freaking competition where they might lose that. You got to jeopardize that slot,
I mean,
they got to know they got another guy breathing down their neck, dude.
Turnovers have there's a lot of different factors that go into a turnover. It's not always your fault.
I mean, it's going to happen to a degree.
But a lot of it is focus.
But
most of it.
Just having an iron grip, like an active grip on that ball the whole time.
Yeah. And at this point in camp, Travion Henderson is probably the most electric player that they have through all this non-contact camp.
Oh, so he's lighting up OTAs.
So yeah, all good things about him. Oh, I think two of the three open practices, the press was like, he made the cool, like, he was the most exciting player to watch. He probably had like the top 2 or one of the top 2 like electric plays that gets written about kind of thing. So yeah, if he can be an awesome pass protector and then catch the ball out of the backfield. Yeah, Stevenson's going to start the year as the starter and the workhorse, but a lot of people expect
Trey's going to see some action.
He's going to lose
and
those
probably
touches.
pretty early.
Yeah. But I mean, the offense is going to go as far as Drake May can take them.
It's true.
Kind of, you know. And yeah, the offensive line needs to block for him. But if May can understand half of what McDaniels is trying to teach him and he can execute it, then they're going to be okay.
Well, I was reading too, in the past, there's kind of a different experience happening on the offensive side of the ball too, even with McDaniels there. In the past, it's always just been Bill's program. McDaniel knows how to run it. And it all just comes down the line from Bill, right? Ultimately.
Right.
This year, even though McDaniels is the one calling the plays, he's got a running backs coach that was one of Vrabel's guys.
Yeah.
He's got a QB's coach that was one of Vrabel's guys. He's got people that he has not worked with before. And they know how to coach different types of
Different
the way they
styles.
coach these play calls is different than what he's used to.
Yeah.
And so he's having to take input. There's a lot more collaboration happening than
There is.
he's been used to in the past.
Well, and there's some of Vrabel's guys from Tennessee,
Exactly.
and then there's some guys from Cleveland,
Yeah.
and then there's Doug Marrone, and
Yeah.
they all have ties to the West Coast offense.
Oh yeah, it was somebody.
But they've all run it. They all came up through different
Isn't there?
paths.
There's a guy from the McVay tree,
Yeah.
right? I read that. I was like, oh, cool. I think is it the passing game coordinator that's from the McVay tree?
I think so.
That's
Which
going
is-
to be interesting.
Which is different. You know, McDaniels didn't usually have a passing coordinator. He
No.
just was it, you know?
No, that's kind of a new thing on offense now. I feel these passing game coordinators and stuff, run game coordinators.
Well, and then just saying watching practice. So obviously Bill had his way.
Yeah,
Practice looked the same for 20 years.
yeah,
And then it was a little bit different last year, but pretty similar because Gerard Mayo only knew what practice Bill Belichick ran.
yeah.
And now this year it looks totally different. It's not like a lot of it has been about like being high energy, and I think that's just Vrabel is such high energy himself. But it's not that it wasn't high energy before with Bill Belichick. But they're doing different drills. One of the biggest knocks on the Patriots and Bill Belichick was that he could never develop a wide receiver, and that they chewed up and threw away a lot of wideouts over the years.
Yeah.
Kind of other than Edelman, one of the few draft picks that really worked out. But these wide receiver drills that they're running this year are totally different. And that stems from Vrabel having different experiences, seeing different practices, running different practices, and then, bringing in a lot of offensive coaches from different places that have different experiences. So hopefully it teaches these young wideouts a lot more than they used to teach them.
Yeah. There's a lot, they can get better development out of these guys.
Yeah. Somebody's got to develop into a solid receiver.
Somebody, please. Chargers running back Omarion Hampton. Very similar to what you're hearing about Henderson.
Yeah.
Like,
lighten it up.
In camp, like, they're watching this guy and they're like, dude, this guy is on another freaking level, dude. Playmaker wise, you know? Like, we ain't had this in camp or on the team, like, not like this.
Yeah.
And I mean, two impressions are on the Chargers weekly podcast, because Matt Money gets to spend some time in the press, you know, hanging out on the field. And, I mean, he's like, dude, that running back group, I mean, I was here for it last year. And he's like, you used to see Gus Edwards next to the other backs, and you're just like, holy shit, okay, like, that's the big dude right there. Gus was substantially bigger than all the other guys. You're like, he's like, now the whole fucking squad is that. The whole squad is 220 or more. He's like, Najee's 240. Like,
Najee's a big dude.
Like, the whole group just grew. Like, the whole starting group, like, Jesus. Like, that's a Harbaugh squad of backs right there, you know? Between Rocket, Sanders, Najee, and Omarion, he's like, dude, it is. It's like, I promise you, the DBs on the other team are looking at that and just going like, God damn it. Like, this is not going to be fun. Because they're the ones that have to kind of try and tackle this running back that's got a head full of steam that's going to drop his shoulder on them, right? You know?
Yeah, right.
Like, that's what running backs want to do in the second level. Like, I'm going to run a DB over. I'm just going to run him over like a freight train. That's probably one of their favorite things to do.
Absolutely.
Let me get matched up on a cornerback, you know, trying to tackle me. Woo! And, they're using Omarion heavily in pass. Like, sending him out on routes. Like, all the time. So that's exciting.
I mean, it goes back to Ramondre running the wheel. Like, if the big bruiser of a running back can catch a ball and run a route, like, one, it makes you a 3-down back if you can pass protect and run a route. You don't ever have to come off the field until you're actually tired. But it also, it messes with the defense. They don't know what's coming. They can't. For a lot of teams, you know, if that guy's on the field, they're throwing. If that guy's on the field, they're going to run it. You know? And if a guy can do both, especially a bigger back It's means the offense can do a lot of things, and that's exciting.
I mean, something that really has always, this has been a thing since Herbert started taking snaps as a starting QB. When he identifies a guy that has like elite hands, he will dish that guy the ball. Like if they have elite hands, if he's like, dude, this guy's got elite hands, he knows it real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna deal to that guy heavy. And Omarian's got that. Just elite hands. He really just seems to have these, which is crazy because he's a huge dude. He's an athletic freak and a power back.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying he's a huge dude, and if he can catch, that's even more like.
yeah. So I don't know, Darius Davis, it's going to be real interesting. They asked Quentin Johnson, they had him like do an interview, which is kind of interesting unto its own.
Yeah.
The Chargers typically, they really only let players that they really, really like do interviews. You know what I mean? So they let QJ and Will Dissly do an interview. It was QJ, Will Dissly, and then Sanjay Lal, the wide receivers coach. And QJ knows QJ's under a lot of pressure this year because of the wideouts they drafted.
Right.
And I mean, they told QJ he's a starter. They told him, like, hey, you're a starter.
For now.
And when they asked Sanjay about QJ, they were like, I expect him to ascend, continue ascending. The guy works hard. He's got his head in the right place. He continues to be on track.
That's good.
So, I mean, word out of camp is he should have taken another step forward. He has been in OTAs. He's been making beautiful hands catches. So, like, hands out. Like, he's been doing that all OTAs. No drops.
That's good.
Like, no body catching. Matter of fact, I would be shocked. I think Herbert's probably...
Because if you can't catch the ball when you're not going to get lit up, you're not going to catch the ball when you are going to get lit up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I almost think there's probably a thing going on in training camp where they've specifically told Herbert, like, do not throw him a body ball. Make him use those hands.
Yeah.
He's 6'4". We need that catching radius. He's got to get good at that. There's only one way he's going to get good at it. Throw him balls on the outside so he has to use those freaking hands and get on it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, they have the pads where they'll hit you in the hands while you're trying to catch the ball, or
Yeah.
right after you hit the.
Like, because Herb's the kind of guy it's like,
try to knock it away.
Herb-
but they're not tackling him as he's catching the ball. So
No.
that's, I mean, that's really where the focus has to come in. Can you catch the ball? Get contacted by a safety running full speed and still hang on to the ball.
yeah. I mean, that's another level. So, I don't know if that's premeditated or not, but that's all that seems to be being thrown at Johnson. Every clip I've seen, It's out there. Johnson's having to go full extension to get it. He's getting his hands on it the way you like to see a nice NFL pro receiver do it.
Nice.
Good ball focus, the whole deal. So that's QJ, that's the Wideouts. Chargers still don't have, okay, Charger fans are all concerned about the Slater extension. Okay, let's see, how far? All right, we're 45 minutes in, so this is good. This is perfect. I'm gonna break it off about Slater, okay? Charger fans out there, don't be worried about Slater, okay? I know some people are panicking. Oh, we got to sign Slater. And yes, it would be nice to see him in OTAs. But look at it from a business standpoint here, okay? If I'm Slater's agent, I'm the one telling Slater, you cannot go into that building and practice. Because if anything happens to you, injury-wise, like this will nix. This is a market-setting deal. It's a market-setting deal. That's the deal they're going to get. That's the deal the Chargers are going to pay. The Chargers know it.
Right.
He's going to reset the left tackle market. It's not a question of if he's going to reset the left tackle market. It's a question of how much. By how much is he going to reset the left tackle market? Is it going to be by like 2 million or is it going to be by like 5 million? Either way, something, Slater rolls an ankle or something, like that whole shit changes. Like Slater's got to be wrapped in a plastic sealed bag right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing can happen to you. You're not jet skiing. You're not playing basketball. Like, you fucking walk around, dude, and nothing can happen to you. I don't even know that I want you working out, you know? Slater knows it, his agent. I definitely think it's the agent. I think Slater wants to be there. It's not that he's salty or anything. It's just, you can't have that moving part added into the last minute till the deal is penned, you know? You just can't.
I mean, that's a fine strategy as long as they do it in the next month.
Yeah.
But if they go to training camp,
no,
July,
and realistically, that's what it's all about. As long as it gets done by training camp. And historically, that is exactly what has happened with the Chargers and market-setting deals. They have always gotten done, like, right before training camp or the first week of it. It's not the Chargers' first time doing a market-setting deal. They've done that with Herbert. They've done that with Derwin. They've done that with Boza. Like, and every time, this is exactly how it plays out. And half of it is not because of the players. I'm pretty sure it's all because of the agents going like, nothing can happen to you. You cannot fuck this up by just like running around in OTAs having fun with your buddies, okay? No. Right. No. You fucking stay at home, stretch. I want you doing Pilates and like, that's it. You know? So don't be worried about the Slater deal, guys. That's happening. And the reason why it's happening like this is because it's a market-setting deal, and that is the way it always happens with market-setting deals, okay?
so just check back in 6 weeks like everything else.
What's that?
So just check back in 6 weeks like
Yeah.
everything else.
So don't stop freaking out, people. Slater's fine. That leads us into the O-line, by the way. Of which I'm happy to report. Guess who's been taking first team center snaps this week? Zion Johnson.
The Zionist.
Zionist Johnson has been taking the first team center snaps, and guess who's at left guard? Bradley Bozeman.
The old Bose.
Old Bose is at left guard. Zion's been taking the first team center snaps. Finally. We didn't see that last week, and everybody was like, Bozeman's going to start. Like, we're stuck with Bozeman again. God damn it. I was part of those people, by the way. I was one of them. Okay? I'm not saying I wasn't one of them. I find it is particularly disturbing when I have to see that. It triggers me, okay? In the day and age of triggers, it triggers me to watch that because I saw that all last season and I've got nightmares from it at this point. Like that lineup. And then Pipkins was out at left tackle. Which is actually something I like to see too, actually. Because Pipkins should be our swing tackle. That's what he should be. The backup swing tackle, right and left side.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are we using him at guard? It's cool he can play some guard. He's done it. Whatever. He wasn't bad at it. I mean, but Pipkins, he's a better tackle. And getting him left side reps is huge. He's way more mobile than Jamari Salyer. Between him and Salyer, though, which Salyer filled in at left tackle when Slater went down and had a fantastic season doing it, actually. He was just like, it was mind-blowing how good he was at left tackle for some reason. Although they did give him heavy chip help.
I mean, you can't put too much stock into where guys are in OTAs just because sometimes it's because, Slater's not there.
Yeah.
Somebody else has to play left tackle in his absence.
Yeah, so it's great.
But also, like, you're seeing if a dude can play guard. If he can, that's great. Doesn't mean he ever will, but, like, this is the time to see that.
This is when you figure it out.
And if Pipkins can play guard and tackle,
The whole line.
then they don't need a seventh lineman. They'll need seven, but they won't need an eighth. Like, the best way to sub when there's an injury is 1-for-1. The guard gets injured, you just put in one guy. You don't have to put in this guy can only play tackle. So you got to put him at tackle, and you got to move the tackle to guard.
If you've got
the fewer moving parts you have, the better. So the more positions one guy can play, if he's not the starter, the better.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's exactly right. I mean, having extreme flexibility with like high quality flex dudes is huge.
Yeah. And this is the time of year to find that out.
You're talking about being in a position where you've got Trey Pipkins and Salyer that can literally play every spot on the fucking line outside of center. And they've done it in NFL games and not blown it. Like, they've done decently well at it. Like, to have that as your second line of defense and not just one of them, but two of them is amazing.
Right.
You know, and on one hand, they're not quite good enough to take a starting slot, but that means your starting slots are not just good. It means those guys are like elite at that spot. That's why they're playing that spot. And your backups are better than average. Like, that's what you got to have, you know? So that's a fantastic position to be in. But Zion's taking those snaps. Super, super happy to see it. Andre James has still been playing with the second team at center the whole time. And again, I mean, I'm going to re-harp this with Charger fans, okay? Popper, as well as like Guilty as Charged, Haglin with Guilty as Charged. Love those guys, especially Haglin. And in the Guilty podcast, it's the best. I think that's my favorite podcast out of all the Chargers podcasts. Last week, Haglin was just like besides himself about the interior O-line situation. And like I said, it's rightfully so. But he was just like, this regime they didn't do enough. Popper felt that way too. And I kind of feel that way. But also, my theory is the only thing that explains like Harbaugh and Ortiz's mindset of why they didn't spend, not only did they not spend a draft pick on a center, okay? Finding the center of the future. Not only did they have like unbelievable amounts of opportunities to get their hands on a top 3 center.
Right.
They didn't even get one in UDFA. Not even in UDFA. Like, they made some really awesome UDFA signs. They didn't even go get one as in UDFA. And I don't know, we'll never know how hard they tried, if they did try, but they didn't get one. Yeah. I feel like if they had tried hard, they would have got one of those guys. But they didn't. And not one. So
who doesn't want to come to Southern California?
The only way that makes any sense for these really smart football guys, Harbaugh and Ortiz have done an amazing job doing what they've done and assembling and strengthening the depth on the team in every single position group. Yet the most glaring position group was interior offensive line. And they didn't seem to do much or anything. The only way this makes any damn sense at all is if they actually view Zion Johnson as their draft pick. That's what they said to themselves. We don't need to spend a draft pick because we have a first rounder in-house. That's our draft pick.
Yeah.
And we're going to train him in fucking center. And guess what? He's got NFL reps and we know him really well. We know him and we like him. We know what he can do. We just got to see if he can deliver the goods at center. If he can give us a higher ceiling than Bradley Bozeman. Zion's got to be able to beat Brad, dude. Got to.
He will. But it's kind of a wash if Bozeman just plays guard. Because then they're both still just...
Well, I don't know. Bozeman... I mean, if you can do center reasonably well, I think you can play guard even better. We're expecting the opposite with Zion here.
That's what I'm saying. Is those are your two guys at guard and center, and they're the two weakest positions on your offensive line, and you're trying to fix that. Just swapping them so the same two guys are at guard and center. Like,
here's a really good example.
I don't know if that fixes the line well enough.
Here's a really good example.
Both can play the other position a little bit better, which I don't think is true about two guys swapping positions. Like,
here's a really good example, Pete.
Maybe one of them plays the new position better than his old position, but
here's a great theory. Zion's supposedly one of the smartest guys on the O-line. What if you're super smart and you're looking out there and you're watching this defensive lineup and you're reading these protections, right? You know is that everybody on the O-line is generating a protection scheme, right?
Right.
And the center is going to call a protection scheme and tell everybody, this is the call.
Right. Well, because when you walk up to the line, you're like, this is the guy I'm going to block.
Uh-huh.
This is the space.
Exactly.
This is
You're
where
looking-
I'm going.
Yeah.
Or they're going to change it, and then I'm going to go to that.
There's a protection scheme that's called, but there's also in the mind of that O lineman, he's got like, okay, I know this is the call, but I'm seeing something a little different here.
Well, it's not that I'm...
And I want to be prepared for that, right?
Right. They all know the different options available to get called.
So...
And they're looking at which one was going to be called.
But my point is this. When you have protection breakdowns, that means there's confusion as to who needs to be blocking what. And if you're really smart and really capable,
or it was just a blown play, bad play call.
it could just be those are going to happen too. Sometimes a defensive play call, I mean, that's what these defensive coordinators' job is to do, is to trick the protection scheme.
Right.
And get a free rusher. That's the goal. That's going to happen at a certain level. It's not just not going to happen, okay? You're never going to eliminate that completely. I mean, maybe close, but it's never going to be gone completely, okay? Unless you're playing a really bad defensive coordinator. But my point is this, is like, if you're really smart and you're this really smart O-lineman and you got this really dumb O-lineman making the protection call.
Right. And you're like, oh my God.
Yeah. You're going to have these flubs. Like, it's going to accentuate a problem. So maybe moving Zion, the smart guy, to the protection call and having the dumb guy follow the orders, maybe that jives all of a sudden.
Okay, all right.
Maybe that works all of a sudden, you know?
Here's to hoping.
Could happen. So, Zion, let's go Zion.
If that was the case, though, the coaches would have seen it in the middle of last season and fixed it.
You would think.
And either told Bozeman, like, dude, like, you made the wrong call.
I mean, here's the thing. You can coach the protection calls. Every once in a while, that O-line, the center is going to make a bad call.
Right.
And you can try and coach him up to reduce that. But at the end of the day, if Bozeman's got a certain capability in calling protections because he's limited in that way, like, you're stuck with it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the hope is here that Zion gives you a better ceiling there. You know what I mean? Like, this guy is going to be better at calling protections than Bozeman was.
I mean, or they could have the guard do it. When you have rookie centers, sometimes the veteran guard does it, or the quarterback does it, which you also have a veteran.
You know what's really interesting here? I noticed this when I was watching film on the Eagles, and I had never, ever, ever, ever seen this, okay? I was just like, what the fuck is this? So when we acquired Becton, I started watching, like, O-line film on Becton.
Uh-huh.
The guard. Every time the Eagles would hike the ball, the left guard, who was Becton, no, the right guard, who's Becton, he would be like in his stance, and so they would be calm, and like they would hike the ball, and he would smack the back of the center, almost like he was the one activating the hike.
So that's
Every play.
usually that's when it's silent count.
You know something about this?
When there's a silent count, you know, if you're playing on the road, when you're at home, you can tell the fans to shut up. And generally, a good crowd will quiet down and let their quarterback work. When you're on the road, the whole point is the crowd makes a lot of noise when the other team's on
So you
offense.
can't, yeah.
So they can't verbally change the play at the line because you can't, a guy 10 feet away can't hear you even when you're screaming at the top of your lungs.
Yeah, I'd never seen that.
So you can't even have a verbal cadence to snap the ball. You have to do it without sound being a factor. So everyone else just has to watch the ball snap, so which you lose your offensive advantage of knowing the count.
Yeah.
The defense is just watching the ball get snapped too.
Yeah.
So when the quarterback is ready to snap the ball, the guard is looking over his shoulder at the center, and he gives him a hand motion or stomps his foot or something. And then the guard turns around, takes a half a second to, reorient himself.
Yeah.
And then he pats the center on the leg or the butt, and the center snaps the ball.
So I thought that was interesting. Like, what the hell is going on here?
But that's all it is, and it happens every play because in that game on the road you can't. Every play is a silent count.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing in LA where the road team has that silent advantage.
Where the whole stadium's just silent.
Everybody like, our team's on offense, everybody quiet down. And the 6 Charger fans are trying to get loud, and they're like,
The 6 Charger fans, exactly.
And you should know it well, because I feel like Herbert has to run a silent count every game.
Pretty much. Yeah. Opposing team crowd noise is very much present at home games. Very much a problem. Is it the 4th?
Today, yeah.
So, we'll see. Woo! If watch Zion. If he's taking snaps next week, 2 weeks in a row. Woo, woo, woo! What? And I still think Andre James is going to compete, is going to push to start come training camp.
Good, as you should.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's all I got for the podcast today. Thanks for tuning in. Always like and subscribe.
Cool.
Happy Wednesday.
See you
Happy
next
hump day,
time.
y'all. Bye-bye now.
Bye.